Welcome to the next part. We're looking at this series on a very, very early Sheffield railways. The Sheffield coal railways, tramways, tram roads.
Yeah, tram road, Ordnance Survey, and we can't argue with them. We
looked at the tram roads from just over there, Manor Park on that first one, those collieries, the two earlier.
Norfolk Park.
Norfolk Park, what did I say?
Manor Park.
Manor Park.
That's where we're going now. Okay.
So I leave stuff like that in because I'm only human. And this is Manor Park, this is Manor Lodge, the old castle ruins, isn't it? Well, they're not castle ruins, are they? It's the lodge ruins.
It's often called the Manor Castle. Even the council ward was called Manor Castle for a long time.
And the pub next door.
Yeah, indeed, yeah. Locals call it a castle. And who are we to argue? Yeah, but it's Manor Lodge, yeah. Yeah, it's home of Mary Queen of Scots, not by choice. And, you know, it's amazing, really, isn't it? We just walked up and you just walk along a normal looking road and you're transformed back 500 years.
But we're not here to cover this. We're here to cover the third iteration, the third generation of our Sheffield coal lines.
Yeah, the tram road, the one, the modern one, the one that we know about, and the one that we can hopefully see some evidence of and have the full story of. So we're in another mining area. There was a pit inside the grounds of Manor Lodge for in the time we're talking about. But there were two more pits as well, Manor Wood Pit and Manor Pit, which are both very close to where we are, just in the dip over the road. And from there, in 1830, what could lay claim to be Sheffield's first modern railway was built. An incline plane, an actual cast iron railway that we would recognise today.
Yeah.
But went back to the Park Square coal yard.
The same place as the other two.
There's for centuries Sheffield people went and got their coal, Sheffield businesses. What must have been an amazing sight to people that hadn't, you know, just before the railway era, hadn't seen a train, but these trains took the coal down, and then under the weight of that, the empty tubs got taken back up to the top.
And we're no stranger to incline planes, covered many of them over the years. But this one was cast iron, wasn't it? We do know this one wasn't wooden.
This one, yeah, absolutely. This one was cast iron. So this is 1830, so at the very beginning of UK railway story, until 1870. It doesn't appear to have changed its use. It appears to have basically run the same way throughout. It started off horse-drawn at the top. It was then an incline plane for the descent of the route, and then was horse-drawn again at the bottom as it went along the canal. This is built after the canals. The canal's already there. Very interesting. It's marked very clearly on maps, and it's marked on the first 6-inch Ordnance Survey map of Sheffield, which transforms our maps.
Again, such an under-celebrated thing in Sheffield, this. We do have a little representation from like an old colliery tub wagon here. This isn't like representing like the I mean, that's a plate, what I would say is a plateway, isn't it? Like the early L-shaped rails on there.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there wasn't a tramway here. There was a pit here, which this is remembering. Maybe in the pit. Maybe was that what it'd be like down there when they were moving the coal about?
Like an internal. I mean, this is like I mean, what years? Late 1700s. Oh, okay. There was railways. I mean, there's ones in Derbyshire.
Yeah, the L plate.
The L plate sort of stuff. So we're right in the heart of kind of Manor Park at the moment, then, aren't we? Where's the castle then? Hold on,
we're just below
walked in
it.
Circles.
Yeah, we have a little bit, but we're not far below it.
Which direction is it in? Where is it? I've completely lost my sense of direction. It's over there. It's over there. And we're standing right where we are here in one of the collieries, is it? One of the pits?
Yeah, so we're on the site of Manor Wood Pit, a 19th century colliery. There was a colliery in the current lodge grounds itself, Manor Castle Pit. This was Manor Wood Pit. Yeah. And we're going to a third one just down the road. But this is where the line began. This is where they built the line in 1830 to begin. So the beginning of the line's horse-drawn from here to the next pit, and then the incline plane, we get to the incline plane. Right. Again, we're in a different, we're still in the Duke of Norfolk, we're still in a railway innovation story, but we're on the different side of the hill behind us, and a slightly different time as well. George Stephenson was involved in the building of the line. Yep. So he was talked to by the Norfolks, and he originally proposed the line to go as far as Handsworth. and to go around twice as far than it ended up doing. He had this vision of a longer line linking more pits together, but it ended just to here. So back to the canal basin is the other end of it. This is the terminus at the top. So yes, I think this is it, this park. I think this is certainly very close to the site of the pit, and this is one of the 2 pits in the area that this line only served 2 pits, unlike the other one. So they're probably a little bit bigger by then than the earlier ones.
So after leaving a Manor Wood pit, you'll see, it's time to pull the old maps. We just get to this area here. So this is Corker Bottom, isn't it? And this is where our tramway, our line, bends round to the left.
Yeah, this is Low Manor Pit and Corker Bottoms now, yeah. And our line came pretty close to where we are, and these were coke ovens. These were right at the nerve centre of industry. This was dirty, smelly. These were the coke ovens where they were burning off from the coal here, and the line curved round. The ovens were on this site here where the football pitches are, and the line has curved round the outside of this open space. And from the other side, it becomes the inclined plane. But at this stage, it's horse-drawn still. This is it. This is the 2 pits and the ovens. They were the only things that it was used for, this line. And from here on, it's just down the hill.
So just into some context there before we do get to the incline. So the first section of this, the top half, horse-drawn, okay, then incline. So we've got gravity, you know, going down, the weight of the wagons going down laden with coal, pulling the wagons up, and when it gets to the bottom, back on to horse-drawn. So 3 sections, but that's nothing revolutionary. We see that on a lot of these types of setups.
In the winter, you can walk the track bed just over there. Unless we'll have a look, bit of luck, it's been cleared. If it hasn't, we can pick it up from the other side. But if it is clear, we can go through, and you can just start to see what could be a track bed.
Right. Oh, interesting.
I know.
That's quite a statement for this one.
Everything's there's a lot of imagination required for a lot of this, but you just start from here on to see the lie of the land.
Actually make it feel like a railway video. Yeah, it's a fascinating subject though. This is, and if you're into your kind of history, you're from Sheffield, there's a lot of interest in old railways in Sheffield, but this one isn't one that's celebrated very much, and I think that's a lot of intrigue there for me.
It might be the oldest one of all.
Well, let's get that debate started.
Well, certainly this. I mean, this one here, if you turn the first passenger station in 1838 at Wicker, so this is that era.
Yeah.
This is the 1830. Yep. This is the time when the very first railways are coming up in the country. This is interesting about the terminology as well, because the word railway, when passenger railway stations were railway lines were starting, they were railways. So railway is becoming a common term at this time. And yeah, it is fascinating because this line is described as a railway on maps in the 1830s, but Ordnance Survey calls it a tram road in the 1850s. It's been left. Nothing's been built here, and it can't really be anywhere else because the slope down there is too steep. It would have to be in this bit that we're watching now.
Yeah.
And it's not a huge site, but there were buildings here, 3 or 4 buildings of the ovens.
Is this it?
Yeah, it's not far. If we had gear on, we could push our way through.
Sadly, but the incline, as you can see, this isn't very hospitable, is it? Look at this. It's quite thick, that, but the incline's down there. It's kind of dropping off. It's dropping off the edge of the earth.
This is pretty much the beginning of the incline now. Yeah, we've left the pit, and from here on.
Shame we can't walk down that, but never mind. We're going to the bottom, are we now? We're
going to go round, and we're going to pick it up on the other side. So there's a wedge here. So there's our path, and there's the road. So they're just there, and that's that wedge there. That bit there.
So we're not far on at all.
So we're over here.
From where we were, are we?
No, exactly. And here's the bridge, and you can see that the road is carried across the line rather than the other way around. And that, on the opposite side, that wedge is the wedge of the road and the line. So we are, probably for the first time, on a spot we can
say
we can say United.
You're going to have to use your imaginations for this, folks.
Wow, this is overgrown. Okay, this is the bit where, unfortunately, there is some granite in the ground. There's some stone in the ground, which...
Are you thinking ballast or something like that?
It sort of looks like you'd expect it to look like. It was used as a footpath and bridle path for many decades after closure.
Yeah.
So it may have been from that. However, apart from that, it's basically been untouched.
Heading off down there, is it roughly the line?
So from here, because we're on the incline,
Yeah.
once we've got a point, we can follow that point down there. So it's coming on a bridge here. This is it. So this is it. This is the beginning of the path. That's the path there. So we're now on the incline. So we're now it's now straight, and it's going under the road here, or the road is going over it, and it's going through those trees and out to the other side where we'll go and have a look. From here, a lot of the route is buried and has been developed over. But we are now on a straight line. On the survey, interestingly, says wooden bridge. It's around here and into the gap there.
Right.
So this is where we're picking up the incline. So this is where it would have run at a time when there was nothing else here, where the estate isn't here, the house isn't here, just the farms. There's Nunnery farm just down there. Yeah, and we are pretty much on it. We've done some surveying down here, and we've come out. But there are photographs and the maps which tell us that we're on the spot.
So you say there's the Great Britain from Above image around this spot?
It's a cutting here. Yeah.
Oh right.
So yeah, you can see the scar in the field, and it looks like it's a couple of feet deep, maybe more.
You say that there's been some kind of archaeological surveying going off in this spot here.
Yeah, we've organised a little bit of surface geophys type archaeology with a view. It would have been interesting. We haven't had the permission or been able to dig on any parts of these routes. There are a couple of tempting places where it'd be nice to. You'd never know what you'd find. You'd find the cutting. You'd find We'd probably be able to tell where that was. The line comes in the news for when there are accidents or incidents on the line. The local press covered it. There's a period where there are some sad instances on the line. First death reported on the line, 1835. A child I think he was picking up bits of coal, because I think that one of the things would have happened here is bits of coal would have dropped off the coal. And as we were saying, this was quite scarce for some people. That was it reported in the local press. In 1836, there was a different type of story, but a guy that worked in the mines at Manor was running late for work, and he was down in town, and he tried to hitch a lift onto the tubs to bring him back, that were coming on the incline, to bring him back up to his workplace, and it went wrong, and he fell between the things and was killed trying to jump, trying to grab the back one and get a free lift back up to work. And 1840, the third of them, there was a 7-year-old girl was killed near here. And she was, it was said that she was crossing the field to pick potatoes out of the field. And unfortunately, as is still the case now, things only get on the news because there's been a tragedy. You don't get a report of the line operating that we'd be interested in.
It's only when you're walking down here, it's come today, that you realise what such a drop it is from up there down to where we're heading. I mean, we're still really high up, and this road here that we're on at the moment. Is this Manor? What road is this?
Manor Lane.
Manor Lane. And this is a steep road. Our incline's still somewhere over there, isn't it?
Just to our right. It appears on the map again when we go onto this junction. It came across this junction just here.
So the incline's underneath us here then?
Yeah, the map here, this junction was here on the 1855 map, and it's just around here, possibly going through that space there. And this is one of the spots where we don't know if it's gone under the road, or the road's gone over it, or it's gone across. But yeah, it's on the map. We're in the spot here. This is interesting, bottom Manor Lane, because people may even remember this, but Manor Lane, very old road we've come down, used to continue down there. So you can see that's Manor Lane over there.
Yeah.
This bit here is a modern diversion. So the old Manor Lane just used to cut right across and down to there.
Since we last left you, because we've not been able to really follow the course of the old route, have we? It's gone underneath the Sheffield Parkway. It's gone underneath the railway line. We have crossed the railway line, haven't we? Yeah. And we're now walking down Lumley Street. Now, there's probably something just important to tell you here in that we've talked about 3 tram roads in these couple of videos. This is the 3rd that we're following today. After that 3rd tramway, it was actually used, it was taken over by a branch line to the Nunnery colliery, wasn't it? That went over to salmon pastures, the other side of the Don.
It did, and we're about to see where it crossed the canal and the Don. So Nunnery collieries opened in 1868, and a couple of years after that, the 2 pits that we've just been up to, Manor Wood and Manor Pit, they closed. They're superseded by the great big Nunnery colliery down the road. And part of what became the Nunnery colliery branch line, it used some of our tramway from 1830.
So it's found another use again, that bottom
so there's
section,
a small section of it which we're about to see a little bit of evidence of, again, this is the Norfolk estate. They're still with us today. They still own great parts of Sheffield today, and they owned all of these collieries.
So we're just stood outside. It's the entrance to the Veolia, is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Lumley Street Operational Services. This, where's the big trim? Oh, it's just further up the road, isn't it? The incinerator building. But we just come to fetch you here because look at the hump in the road here. You might not be able to see it. The camera might be flattening this out, but the road, there is, if you look at it from a long view, you see it rising here, and we're right on top of the hump because we're on top of a railway tunnel now, and this is the iteration we've just been talking about, where they use this to get to the sidings, to salmon pastures.
Yeah, this is for about 100 years. This was the end. This was the link between Nunnery Colliery and the salmon pastures coal yard over the 2 stretches of water just behind us. And this bottom bit was exactly the point where the incline. This is where the incline ends and becomes horse-drawn again along the canal.
Okay.
So there are maps in the 1860s which show Lumley Street under development, they say, as a proposed new road, and our line is coming across. So I think the tram road, the 1830 tram road, went on the surface to here.
Yeah.
But the colliery line was under the ground for a stretch over there, and is under our feet here and about to emerge to cross the canal and then cross the road and then the Don.
Now, I don't want to get too sidetracked by this later Nunnery branch line, but just for some context, the hump/rise in the road over the tunnel, in fact, if we compare the maps, the alignments are slightly different. The old tramway was slightly up the road. You can see the kink in the newer alignment through the tunnel, which alters the path of the line away from our tram road. You might be thinking, why the tunnel? And this place massively developed in the time that our original tramway was in use, because just over there we had all the Nunnery sidings. Oh, huge!
Yeah.
Right over where you think where the tram depot is now, and like there's a call centre on the side of the parkway. It's a vast railway line. Just look at the old maps for the amount of stuff that was here. You'd scarcely believe it from knowing Sheffield these days. I mean, if you're queuing down the parkway in the morning on your way to work, did you ever scarcely believe that you were sat in that scale of railway sidings and infrastructure? Is this remains of something, this bridge?
This is the bridge head. This is the tunnel mouth is below us here.
There's a tunnel mouth that's still there.
Pretty much filled in, but you can, let's just say people have got down there in the past. For quite a long time, you could access the tunnel. I've heard stories from the 70s, 80s where people could enter the tunnel. I think it's not so much been closed off as just infilled, but yeah, this is the top of the tunnel, and this is where it comes out on the level to cross the canal.
So by the time it gets down here, then it takes a sharp turn to the left and levels out. So that's where we're getting as horses.
We're at the bottom of the incline, yeah. So we go back to horses, and it's on the flat now to what's now the canal basin. And it's at this point there's a book published in 1836, A Tour of the Don, in which the writer talks about people standing here and watching the spectacle of the tubs coming
down
the
the incline.
hill and then back up. Yeah. And this is a couple of years before Sheffield's first passenger railway runs from the Wicker to Rotherham. When I was a kid, we'd stand by the level crossing and watch the trains go by.
Yeah.
You know, or over the top of the bridge or whatever. And that's what people were doing in 1836.
And from never
seeing a
used
sight
to
that-
trains. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm interested. It's a shame that there's no photographs of the incline at the bottom, because I mean, was there a pit? You know, what was in place to as a safety measure to stop those the tubs going into the canal?
And unfortunately, it's just the frustration of not having that sort of detail. We have more detail of this line than we have the other two we looked at, but it's still there's still unanswered question.
There's a canal down there, so where is our tramway here then, do we think?
I think it's up here. I think
still up here?
I think it just on the maps, it just crosses Lumley Street when Lumley Street is built. And I think it's up here because we've got quite a drop away to the canal side. Although there's an illustration which suggests it was nearer the canal, the canal towpath would have to be accessible. I don't think you could have a tram line running along it.
Yeah, because
I'm putting it more up here, I must admit.
back in them, I mean, the canal's horse-drawn as well.
There's traffic on there. It's very much a working canal.
It's still got a bit of a drop to go then, hasn't it? To get down to the side of the canal.
It has. I mean, the only depiction we have, the illustration we have, does show it running alongside. We'll weigh that up a little bit later when we see some more possible evidence for it.
So this is Cadman Street. Was it the canal's here?
It is this fantastic bridge, the original bridge that's still under us, the 1819 bridge, one of two left. This area in the 1820s, once the canal is open, is where so much industry opens. The sheaf buildings, the sheaf works buildings between here and the basin are all opened in the 1820s. There's several buildings here from that time, including this one here, Canal Works, which is the old canal steel works. And this is also opened in the first decade after the canal is open. So the line that's built in 1830 is built. This is one of the reasons for working out how close it was to the canal, because here it definitely went behind this building, and on the 1855 map it shows it being the other side of the building behind me. But we'll go and have a look. So we're talking about 1819 canal, an 1820s building, and an 1830 tram road running immediately behind it. So right behind, so on the maps, the 1855 map in particular shows no gap at all between the tram lines, the tram road lines, and the building here, right up against it to the point where you can't see the difference between the two. So the line was under our feet right here where we are now. And just in this yard, and sticking out of the edge under this gate, there are two sets of rails, 3 feet approximately apart. Still
No
here.
way. Surviving rail. Are they original rails?
Well, we don't know.
Oh wow.
One set there, one over there.
Wow. Let's show you these up close. Look at that. Ow. Who noticed these?
It wasn't me, I'm sad to say. It was somebody I was with.
Incredible.
And I sulked for a little while.
To find that, I mean, they've been.
And I mean, they look to me like two sets of early rails.
Yeah, they do. I mean, the fact that they're so embedded, and they've obviously they've tried to bury them. You see them there, two there, and two there. That's incredible. I tell you, whoever noticed that, how many people walk past that? You'd never even notice.
I was stood here talking to a colleague and saying, on this spot, and he said, what them over there? Are they from a railway that closed over a century and a half ago? And have you ever found an older piece of disused railway? This is the arches of the viaduct that are in the late 1840s artist impression that show it being horse-drawn under here, and they show it coming under this arch.
Probably just to catch you up there, there is an illustration there that's available that shows the only thing that does show any evidence of this being here, of the tramway alongside basically where the Colliery is, and now you've got to realise here, look, there's in that illustration we can see an arch bridge. Now if you stand in these locations these days, you'll see these more later look, because this railway was modernised and widened than what it was back in the days. But look, can you see the arch in the middle? Exactly what's on on there. And it's probably obscured from the other side now by Derek Dooley Way.
Yeah, I see what you mean. And this was included in an artist's impression to celebrate the purchase of a new building on the other side of the water. So they had the area drawn, and in doing so, they accidentally gave us the only illustration, and it shows the line working. It shows horse-drawn carts being taken along, and what I now believe to be an accurate depiction of the line. That's back on the level and going through here. And Blast Lane that we're about to get to now, again, is a place where, if the tracks are still there on Cadman Street back there, then maybe they're still under here.
Under here.
Because this is not an area that's seen a lot of change or development.
So this is a wide passage here, look, for
Probably
a
somewhere
tramway.
close to the wall on the right-hand side. Yeah, it's on part of this, yeah. I think it's over here.
Why did they build such a wide arch then? If this is just in when this was built, when the railway was built?
Blast Lane is older than the tram road. So Blast Lane goes back to the late 1700s. It is another old road. I don't think this arch was just it wasn't built for our line, but our line goes under it.
Yeah. I see, that makes more sense.
Yeah, and it is quite enclosed. You have to come underneath, don't you? Because it must have been this side of this structure here.
Yeah.
Because if you look at it where Canal Works is, this is why I think when you think back to Lumley Street, how far away from the canal it must have been. Like if you line it up, where we are here, and where we are at Canal Street, if we can assume it went roughly straight, it was a fair way back from the canal.
So through this little archway now, it fetches out onto the side of the Sheffield Tinsley Canal. 1819 this, so this predates this tramway arriving, but obviously it doesn't predate the earlier two that we talked about last time.
Yeah, the town coal yard was here before the canal, as were the markets, the main markets in the town, which were not far from where Castle Market used to be, on this side of town. So the canal comes here because the trade is already here and the traders are already here. The coal yard's here, the markets are here, whereas it's often the other way around. And the coal yard was amazing. It was there for about 300 years. And that didn't change, into our lifetime. That coal and coal heating was... it's very recent.
Yeah. Coal man going around the streets, dropping his bits of coal. So would it have been just on the left-hand side?
I was trying to think, so Blast Lane was here before the canal as well. So, yes, it's between us and the road to our side here. I think it's probably just the other side of that wall.
So we're underneath the old Park Goods station now, just on the side of Victoria Quays. That was quite fascinating, that. Thanks ever so much, Calvin. So that's been 2 videos, 3 old tramways, gang roads, coal roads,
wagonways,
whatever you want to call them.
Tram roads, as the Ordnance Service settled with. 2
very old ones with not a lot to nothing to show you. But
a lost wooden wagonway, a lost, some say, world's first cast iron railway, and then maybe we've just found a piece of a railway that's been closed over 150 years.
Yeah. And that's Sheffield's oldest railway track exposed there.
It's before any of the passenger lines came to Sheffield, yes. And we've been, 10, 15 years, they were able to get the train to different parts of the country. Yeah.
So fascinating history, so fantastic. Thanks ever so much for watching these videos. Thanks as always to my channel members and anyone who supports the channel. We'll see you again soon on another video.